Oh yeah, that was probably really
Hi
awkward.
everyone. This is Bad Candy. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our first network. Whee!
So, do we want to just like go down the line and kind of introduce ourselves, and then we can talk about origin story of Bad Candy?
Well, who are you?
I'm Erin Dunbar. I do the Tomorrow Show on every other Sunday, and yeah, I'm gonna get to interview these guys today.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Matt?
Oh, I'm Matt, and I play bass and a little bit of guitar in Bad Candy.
I'm Alex. I play a little bit of guitar and mostly sing in Bad Candy.
I'm Todd. I play drums and I do some backup singing in Bad Candy.
I'm Mike. I actually am lucky to be married to the interviewer, and I co-host with AC and Erin Dunbar on the Tomorrow Show. So we'll see you in the morning. But I have the privilege of playing guitar and singing sometimes in Bad Candy.
Hopefully our cat won't be a maniac, but I'm not promising anything.
No promises.
Your cat loves that Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Something fierce.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what is the origin story of Bad Candy? How did you all meet? And what was sort of the idea behind it?
Okay, well, I think like the very beginning are two things. One was I used to be in a folk acoustic duo with one of my best friends, Ira Oakes. He plays cello and I played guitar and sang, and we would go to every open mic night we could ever hear about. And like Uncommon Ground, man, I don't know. We went any open mic, literally, we would just go. And at the open mic nights, we met Mike, who quickly became a really close friend, and we shared bills with each other. And I just loved his music, and he was super into our music. So we just became super tight. So that was one thing. And then, so Mike and I just became buddies and would go to like, each other's shows and stuff. But then, fast forward a few years, I was at a show and I spilled my entire beer on someone at the show at Quenchers when it was still open. And it happened to be our friend Tony. And we like started talking because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And it turns out his band 10,000 Light Years needed a lead singer, and that was my dream. I wanted to be the lead singer of a rock band. So anyway, long story short, I got in the band, I auditioned, I got in. Todd was the drummer, and we got really tight from that experience. All these pieces. But anyway, so then after that band disbanded, Todd and I still wanted to make music together. So we would like get together and write stuff. And then
so it was hard because everyone's got a busy life, everyone's got their work and they've got their family, they've got all these other things. We're like, we need to commit to ourselves to like, we're going to set aside time. Yes, we're going to do it. It took months for us to do it. We finally started to do it. And then I think it was December 10th, 2018, we put a Facebook ad. It said, hey, we're in a kind of a salty band. We think our name is Bad Candy. We've got a drummer, we've got me, and we're looking for some others to help round out our sound, a bass player and a guitar. And Matt, who I had known for years, he's been in a friend of mine's band, Tim Ferguson's band, called Red Plastic Buddha, and I just knew Matt from just the music scene in Chicago, and we're dealing with a crisis right now with a cat that will not leave the Christmas tree alone. And you're sabotaging everything.
look at those little.
Matt knew me, and he had actually, I'll let him tell that story, but he actually had seen Alex and I play, and he said he made a mental note, and he responded to the ad. And then we're like, well, should we ask Mike? We're like, no, Mike's got so many projects going.
Mike has a lot of
seven
He was in
bands.
7.
Oh my
He
god.
was in 12 bands. So we asked him. But what's your side of it?
All right, so I went to a show of a friend of mine named Heather Perry's in 2000, and it must have been 13 or 14. It must have been 14, right? And I was there randomly with some other people, and my band at the time, Roxy Swain, was hiring a couple of designers to do some suits, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to this show. You should come with us." And it was one of Heather Perry's bands. I'm like, "Oh my god, we know those people. Yeah, we'll go to the show with you guys." So we end up at this show, and I run into Todd, who I'd known for 6 years at that point, or 7 years, from Red Plastic Buddha. And I'm like, "Oh my god, Todd, what are you doing here? What a great coincidence." And he's like, "Well, I'm actually playing in one of the bands tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Well, then I'll stick around after the opener, who my friend was playing in, and see your band." And I saw Alex front that band, 10,000 Light Years, and I was completely blown away. I was like, wow, this woman is an amazing singer. I really want to work with this person at some point if I can, and I want to see this band again at least. So I tracked her down on Facebook immediately and was like, "Hey, be my friend." And then we were Facebook friends, and that was it. Like, we never corresponded or anything for 5 years. Then I run into Todd at a show of Mike's that I didn't know was a show of Mike's.
At Space.
No, at Out of Space.
Out of Space.
Yeah, Out of Space.
Out of Space in Berlin.
And
Todd's like, "What are you doing here? You should form this cover band with me." And I'm like, "I don't really want to form a cover band, but
we're trying to sell everybody on that.
Let me know if you're doing anything original." And then Alex put this post up, and I responded right away, and I was like, "I really want to join this band. I'll be your guitar player." And actually, what was interesting about the whole experience was, Mike and I both sort of joined as guitar players, and we had 3 guitarists. And then in our second rehearsal or something, I was like, "I'm going to go out and buy a bass, and I'm going to be the bass player in this band." I don't know why I thought that I should do that. I don't know, how that arrives. But I was like, "I'm just going to go out and buy a bass. This is the right decision." And when we started rehearsing that way, that third rehearsal, it was like, "Yep, this is it. We're going to do this way for now." And it really was like magic from that moment on. So what was interesting was I had individual interactions with all 3 members of the band at different times. And it was kind of reining us in towards work. Every one of these things, we kind of feel the universe was reining us in to work with one another over 10 years.
Yeah.
Or something, right?
Bad Candy,
Yeah.
10 years in the making.
And it was so cool too because, we've all collaborated with a bunch of different people, but I think for Todd and I, we had this idea of what we wanted to be. And then for me, I was I fronted the band, but I didn't play guitar in the band that we were in together. And man, I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to play and sing songs that I wrote. And it just was so cool because I started as this underconfident, you want to play? Well, maybe we can do it. And then they showed up, and it just fit so well. I think we were all just amazed and just ecstatic because it fit together so well, and we vibed together. We were having a blast, which is really the most important thing in a band, is that you're having fun with the people that you're making music with. Yeah, and it was just, we were here we are. So
I needed it too.
we all did. We needed it.
some hard playing.
I needed an outlet of this variety for some of the stuff that goes on in this old noggin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, Mern?
for sure.
It's from Ernest. You guys ever see those movies?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Any
very
Ernest
silly
fans
things.
out there? Are you tuning in because you like Ernest
He
or
did,
Bad Candy?
he did a lot of those movies.
He did.
did a
lot
ton.
of them.
Where is he?
He
I
did.
think he's dead.
I think Jim Varney died.
Not.
May
R.I.P.
he rest in
But until
Rip
the end, he
Jim
was
Varney.
Ernest.
Yeah.
He was Ernest till the end.
So, how about where the name Bad Candy came from?
Well, I
Go
used
for
to
it.
work at a restaurant. I'm not going to talk about it very much, but it wasn't a very good experience. But
Sucked.
as many restaurant
Fuck that
experiences
place.
are. But anyways, we had to know a lot about beer, and we had to talk about beer, and we had to be able to talk about it forever and ever and recommend it at any time. And I was sampling a beer and just messing around with some of my really good friends at this job, and we had to be like, it has a hint of, this is not an exaggeration, it has a hint of cat pee, or like they were like just craziness. So one time we were trying this beer and I was like, it tastes like bad candy. And this is a whole thing. Like, this is a whole thing. If you ever follow us on social media, I hate fruit flavored candy. I cannot stand it. And this beer tastes like fruit flavored candy. And then one of my coworkers was like, that sounds like a band name. So anyway, that's how we,
So there
and
it is.
it kind of fit our vibe too, because it's like the songs are bittersweet, and they're also like, a lot of them are about like love gone bad. So it like, you know, think of like a piece of candy that you're like, ooh, this is going to be really good. And then you eat it and you're like, you want to spit it out and you regret your decision.
Oh shit! Yeah, like
A
the
lot
box
of
of
those
chocolates.
songs, like,
You're
yeah, like a lot of
"What's
those
in
songs.
here?"
Oh, here's the
You're
cherry.
like, what's this one? It looks really good. And you're like, oh, why did I do that? So
Yeah.
that's also,
Yeah.
you know,
Well-
it fits. It's a little sassy.
Yeah.
I think what you
Plus
just
your
hit on
bad
too also works in
ass.
another way, where it's like the things in life that are usually like kind of bad for us, like, or they seem kind of like, oh, that's kind of dark. Like, some people are like, oh, you can't have darkness, but like to express that darkness is to like is a healthy thing for us to do.
Yeah.
It's something that we need to do to be healthy. Just like sometimes like having a little sweet, you know, can kind of like chill you out, even though, oh, you're not supposed to eat sweets, but you wanted that little nib of chocolate
Everything in
because
moderation.
your fucking day sucked. So you just want a little piece of chocolate.
I would say that also it's the juxtaposition of those two words, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
candy is delicious and wonderful. This is bad, delicious, and wonderful. Like bands like Guns N' Roses or Velvet Revolver, like these two like
Yeah.
extremes.
Yeah.
And you know, it just there's a large palette that we work from when we create our music. And I don't know. I guess the name fit. There was, once we heard it.
Got stuck in our
With the-
teeth.
Well, alternative names. We
We
thought of some of alternative names was Betch,
batch.
Salty.
Salty Betch.
Salty bitch.
Salty batch.
But we
That was-
We went with bad candy.
That
I
might-
don't know. You guys tell us. What do you think? Should we change the? No, I'm just kidding.
Salty
It's not
Batch.
Should we name the
We're
record?
not
Bad
changing
candy.
it.
Whatever you say.
Should we name the album Salty Batch? Batch with an E, just to be clear.
Oh man.
I don't know.
Nice.
By the way, if you got Twitch friends, get them in here. We're having a good time. We're talking.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Okay, so what's chat? Feel free to
Do we
enter
have any
in
other
your
band
answer.
names? Do we have
No,
any
no,
other
no.
band names that didn't make the cut?
Oh. The
Salty
first
Batch.
one's
Salty
Batch.
Batch by itself.
Yep, that was one of them.
Yeah.
Was there
Oh,
anything
that's
else
so-
that was
I
considered?
think that was mostly it. I was really hung up on
Bad Andy.
Bad Andy
You're-
is a typo that happens every time we type our name in text messages or emails. Bad Andy.
Bad Andy.
Bad Andy.
Bad Andy.
That's
Or like,
good.
who's
It would
Andy?
be, it would
I
be
don't know.
really hard to come up with them. See, that didn't make it because like, what's the meaning behind Bad Andy? Does
Good
anyone
broccoli.
know an
Good
Andy?
broccoli. I
No.
love broccoli.
Subversive.
I love
Oh,
broccoli.
okay.
Broccoli
Good
is
broccoli.
good.
There you go, Ben.
Okay, so no, what I was gonna say is, what is your favorite bad candy? So
There's so many.
yeah, so
Just go down the
So-
line.
What
I
constitutes
feel
the badness, though? Is it like
yeah.
stuck in your teeth
So I
or
well,
what?
so okay, so I feel like there are candies that are like universally like considered
Sure.
gross or bad. So like I think candy corn is
Yeah.
like the big one, or Good and Plenty.
Good
Or
and
like
plenty.
circus
Yeah, good and
peanuts.
plenty is like.
Those are universal.
Wait, good and
Those
plenty?
are the ones that like a lot of people. So I like candy corn.
Can you repeat those?
but-
Can you repeat those for the viewers at home?
Candy corn over
Those three.
Yeah.
What were the three you just said?
Candy corn,
Candy corn,
circus peanuts,
circus peanuts,
Good and Plenty.
good and plenty.
Those-
Well, hold on. If if the chat can sound off, of those three, which is the baddest?
I'd like to add.
Or what is like your guilty pleasure?
I don't know.
Oh, I've got one.
But those seem bad, though. Those seem like what they
So-
would be bad.
So, like, it's kind of nasty and gnarly to eat, but
Oh, no.
Yeah.
but that,
Sorry.
but Bitto honey is like
Oh, yeah.
Bitto
something
honey.
that is like something I
There
like
it
to
is.
eat because it gets stuck in your teeth and you're like sucking on honey and like.
Chewy nar.
But it's like the nastiest process.
Chewy nar.
Yeah, it's like chewy nar. Exactly. It's like it's the
Bad
nastiest.
kitty,
It's a
right.
bad kitty. Yeah, it's the
Bad
nastiest
kitty.
thing.
Bad kitty.
And like, there's nothing to it. It's just like you're sitting there chewing surface
Yeah.
the whole time. So it's not like enjoyable,
That's
but it's
deep.
sweet.
Like I think Laffy Taffy is kind of bad.
I think
but
any sort of
kinda like
taffy,
it.
saltwater
Yeah,
taffy
yeah.
from the boardwalk in Myrtle Beach, perhaps South
Dots.
Carolina. I don't know.
Dots on a paper. Dots on a paper.
Oh, the
my
dots
God.
in the paper.
That's a great
Dots
one.
on a
Did
paper,
that?
or just the
Who's
gumdrops
dots?
dots.
What are
Those
bad
are
dots.
really bad.
Also, any black licorice. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I
Did
love
anybody
it.
ever go trick or treating with the pillowcase when they're little
Yes.
guys, and then you're going through and you get the peanut butter, black and
Oh
orange?
yeah. I love those.
They're actually
love
good,
those.
but like a lot of people would be like, "This is bullshit,"
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
grounds
yeah.
for tricking.
yeah, or like
Or the banana with a pin in it.
Nico
Necco
wafers.
wafers.
What?
Oh, I love that.
It's like
crap.
eating It's like I'm gonna have some Tums. I want some
Yeah.
candy. I want some candy so bad. What are you gonna have? Oh, I'll have these Tums. I mean, Necco wafers.
I
You know what I mean?
Some Hall's Mentholyptus.
They taste like the
Mm.
sweethearts that you the
That's not candy.
It's not.
Halls? Come on.
the Necco wafers taste like the candies you get on Valentine's Day that are like the hearts.
Oh yeah.
But they're just like
Ooh,
thinner.
sweetheart.
Those are
Sweet
also
peanut.
bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Candy.
Terrible.
Does
Terrible.
anybody,
Awful
does
candy.
Black
anybody
licorice.
like? Does anybody like Boston
Thanks,
baked
Alco Music.
beans? Does anybody like those?
Black
Oh,
licorice
yeah.
is
I've
so
never
awful.
met anybody who's like, I'm a big Boston baked beans fan.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. It's like it
that
seems like a
candy.
savory candy.
Yeah, it's like what?
It's like, can I also have some mashed potato beans?
Wait, what about Red Hots?
I
I
or,
Red
kind of
Hots.
like Red Hots.
what are they called? What are the
Uh-oh. Shit.
Don't mind the
Bad
cats.
kitty. Bad. You're ruining the festival, cat. Gandalf.
Yeah.
Gandalf.
So what are the I was gonna
Ugh.
say they're hot and they're like little jawbreakers.
Oh.
Oh, the fireball.
Fireballs.
Yeah.
Those are ridiculous.
But think
That's
about
not
this.
fireballs.
Think
at all.
about this for a second, folks. You want your recipe for $1 million payday?
Please.
The bar is set so low. Invent a really shitty candy and somehow get it into all the schools and you'll become a millionaire.
Mm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
so
sinister.
much money's
You
been
sound
made on
sinister.
shit candy.
You sound
I
like
am
a
a
bad
I
candy
am a little
villain.
sinister.
I got Malort the candy.
Ew!
Yeah.
Horrible.
Winner,
Put
winner.
that back in your
Yeah,
mouth.
Chicken dinner.
You do like a root beer barrel? You know what I'm talking about? But it's Malort and
Oh,
It'll
that
fuck you
probably
up,
exists
man.
already.
Malort
probably
flavored
does.
candy.
hit them up. They're a Chicago company.
Yes,
Japsons. Japsons. Are you listening? Japsons.
It's like
Candy. We want to make some bad candy, is what we're saying. We've made bloodsuckers, a really
Yeah.
limited run, handcrafted. Danielle Snow made bloodsuckers for us.
They were so cool too, and actually, someone who
We're not
like,
fucking around, by the way.
I
That's
like
a real
really
thing.
legit cannot stand any candy that isn't chocolate. I really hate it. Like I have really unpopular opinions about that. Like Sour Patch Kids, blah, like Twizzlers, blah, Sweet Tarts, blah. Hate all of it. This sucker was so good. I don't know
We
what
had
she
one.
did, and it
Right.
looked creepy and cool. It was like
I
had
can't-
bloodiness and like
Hold on.
sprinkles, but it was delicious. Like custom
Yeah,
made.
I
think we
for
might
our
have one
first
for you.
show. It was so cool.
It's in the back corner
She's
of that weird
so
little candy dish.
talented. Like, check her out. Does she have an Instagram page?
She does.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, she's also the main pastry person at
Prequel Cafe here in Chicago.
Yum.
Get
So
down
good.
there. Yeah, go to Prequel.
They're
Get
so
yourself some
cool.
focaccia.
Even the rapper.
Yeah, we put stickers on them and made our own candy for our first single release show. That's Alex's Fake Bloody Mouth.
Should I open it?
Sure, you can open it and show.
Yeah,
the
they're
people.
like roach. They're like nuclear.
They're very cool. They're very cool. You might need a. I don't know. It's been a while since that show. That was Valentine's Day Massacre.
Right before
That
COVID.
was 2020.
Well,
so
COVID
you might have
already
to like kind of cut it open.
You got a laser
it
welder,
it might be like kind of stuck.
torch welder.
But our dream is to do black, pretty princess ring pops for our next Bad Candy run. If anybody could help us with
Anyone knows how to do that? Yeah, like a ring pop that.
I feel like the ring pop company is like trying to keep people from making ring pops of their own because we couldn't find the little sticky
what's
deals.
going to make more money than rock and roll ring pops?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're missing the
rock and roll
boat.
ring
Really?
pops.
There's a partnership that needs to happen, and they're missing the boat.
If anyone knows anyone from Ring Pops,
I was just
send us the
gonna say.
contact info.
We'll hit up a cool ass
Look how
candy
gross
maker.
that
So it
It's
has
so
blood
cool.
dripping
Shit.
down, and it has
Oh
sprinkles.
shit! If you scroll back on our Instagram feed too, there's some reviews we did of the.
Didn't you eat one on
Yeah, we did some like little videos.
So did I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's pretty great. So
Yeah.
there's lots of good
It was
fodder on our IG if you're new to our Bad Candy world, our Bad Candy universe. But Danielle, let's make some
Yeah.
fucking pretty princess black ring pops. Help us out.
Mhm.
Faceted, right?
Amen.
Mhm.
Faceted, so you can just be like, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, should we
So-
start?
Yeah. Do you wanna start the first song, or do you want to? Well, okay. Let's talk briefly before we do that about how this band kind of collides with mental health and those things that are important to you.
Yeah, but we'll
Yeah.
talk a lot about that.
Yeah.
But like dig into like why you started working on these songs.
Yeah. So, well, songwriting, I mean, I've been writing forever, since I can remember, like since maybe elementary school, writing songs. And I do it almost feels like a way to process what I'm going through. So I've never written a song that isn't about something I'm going through. So for me, that's kind of my connection to songwriting. And I've been through a lot. A lot of the songs in Bad Candy are from just trigger. How about this? Trigger warning if you're watching. Domestic violence content. So I was going through a physically and emotionally abusive relationship for a couple of years, and man, I was just prolifically writing during the relationship, after the relationship. I'm still writing about it now. It's been maybe 8 years. And it really changed my life, and obviously negatively, but also positively, because it really plugged me into the survivor community and the mental health community. And I think like the biggest takeaway from that for me was, I always wonder that if I had known that more people around me had experienced it, and if I had maybe heard music or seen art or heard it in just conversations, maybe I would have left the relationship sooner. There's a lot of isolation and shame, and I was scared, and I didn't know what I literally at the end of the relationship was Googling domestic violence because I did not realize that that's what I was going through. So I think that once I started healing, and once I started writing music, and I also dance, I'm in the dance community, I choreograph. And so, once I started processing that and healing, I was like, man, I need to make work about this. I need to write songs about this. I need to make dances about this. Like, I have a voice in my community by being a singer, just by nature, by being a singer and a songwriter. So it's really important to me, and I feel so supported by everyone in this band. Everyone in this band has been always willing to like listen and process things with me and sit with uncomfortable things that I have to say about what I've been through. And that's, you know, so it's kind of like two-part for me. It's like processing the difficult things that I've been through, and then at the same time wanting to bring them up at shows. And maybe the person in the first row has been through it too and has never told anyone about it. And maybe if they hear me talking about it, they'll feel less isolated and embarrassed about and ashamed like about what they went through, and then they can start healing sooner or escape sooner. So that's my angle. And we all have.
That's what drew me to
yeah,
like the opportunity to work with you in a band setting was something that I had always kind of wanted, but it never like kind of materialized until I was like, oh, I love playing music with Todd. We were already fucking around with locomotive stuff. We were fucking around with just me, him, and Chris, like when we had free nights at the Space. You know, Spaceship was special even before we got together in there. And then
that's where we rehearse. Yeah, you'll see it in a minute.
Yeah,
when
you'll
we
get
show
to see the Spaceship. But like, I think since I was deeply entrenched in the mental health community and we had been friends for so long, the shame and the stigma that you experienced with your own situation, your own external situational factors of the domestic violence and the abusive partner and the dehumanization and stuff that goes with that is much a parallel to some of the stuff that like was constantly coming up in my everyday life for the work that I was doing. But also, you know, like you said, we all have our own stories, our own experiences, and why music is like this catharsis for us together only seems to like support what is like, you know, like the penultimate catharsis for you and your healing. And it was like such a privilege to like be able to take these seeds of those songs that were so painful and make them something that could change somebody's life. Even though you had to go through all this horrible shit, you made a really beautiful diamond out of it. You know, all that pressure, all that heat, all that intensity. Because I know depressing songs give me the most hope some days and help me get to tomorrow and like keep trying to do it again, you know? So, yeah, there was no way I was going to pass up that opportunity. And yeah, everything felt very natural.
Yeah.
Well said. Both of you.
Yeah. So
why did you pick songs that you picked for our performances this evening?
For a few reasons. So we picked two songs. We picked the first song that we're going to show you is called Science, and the second one is called The Monster Song. I picked Science because it is it just felt right. It feels a little bit uplifting but bittersweet at the same time. It's about diving in head first and letting things go and falling in love and giving someone a chance despite what you've been through in the past. And that feels really hopeful to me, like, you know, not giving up just because you've been wronged and just because you've been through something terrible. It takes so much courage and strength, in my opinion, to continue to open your heart after that. So I felt like that was appropriate for the, you know, for the evening.
Gives us hope.
Yeah, exactly.
So, inaugural.
Yes.
And I also think that the cool thing about Science, even though it is uplifting, the performance has an edge to it. And whenever we perform it, you can sort of tell that it's coming from a place that has some real, bittersweet feelings behind it in the past. Like I feel like that's resonating within the song, sure. Even though the content of it is about falling in love, there's an edge there. And that's what I think makes it, for me, one of the best choices as well.
We talk about that often, where it's like, maybe it'll work out this time. It could be sarcastic or it could be earnest. And that's what's the beautiful song magic. The lyrics can be anything to you. Take it as you will. Mm-hmm. And if it, makes you feel good, makes you feel connected, it's doing its job. So
yeah.
Amen.
Cool. Yeah, so let's run science, please, network.
Live from the
Let's
station.
do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, should I do this, Dan?
Oh yeah.
We're Bad Candy.
Yeah.
The phone is genius. Thank you, Erin.
Oh, thanks.
This.
Erin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, good.
Thank you very much.
One take, Aaron.
Oh, damn, anonymous cheerer.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to talk about with science?
Well, I think the guitar part is probably up there with one of my favorite lead lines I've ever written. It feels really good to step into it and bend it and let the feedback almost like take over, but like, you guys know what edging is? Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
You had to go there, didn't you?
All right.
This is inappropriate. But
wow.
Inappropriate.
I love guitar so much because it gives me this fucking like euphoric feeling when I am playing something that feels that good. And, that doesn't have to be like inappropriate either. Like, it just feels amazing to play a riff where you're able to kind of like hold this note out and see if it like kind of if you lose control of it, and it ends up being this really beautiful melody and setting of the song. So
and we were remembering that Mike hadn't been fully vaccinated when that song
I was
recorded.
one shot in.
Yeah, so this was April.
Yeah, I was at the spaceship in April.
And we were just starting to rehearse again regularly. I mean, we had gotten together, it's so funny thinking about it now, but, last fall we were hanging out right in this backyard right here.
Yeah.
And like doing all this
Couldn't
outside
hug.
stuff. Couldn't hug, couldn't do anything like that.
Sitting across a fire because it was kind of cold.
And then we had rehearsed like once a month, and we would take all these breaks. Like we would, because the funny thing about science is it was evolving. We didn't really know what was safe, but we would always like change what we were doing to adapt to the situation.
You mean actual science, not the song.
Not
science.
the song, but like actual science.
Actual science. So yeah, so we were just starting to rehearse again, and we had this wonderful opportunity to bring Erin in and do this song. And really, this is the first time that we've ever shared this song with the public. So
no one's ever seen that shot.
No one's ever seen that before.
It was an exclusive.
And we're excited because
outtake.
Although we've released a single already, and you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, all those mediums. We've got a single out. It's 2 songs, double A-side single on all digital platforms. So look us up, Bad Candy, one word. But we are recording Science right now and a bunch of other songs. Why don't we talk about that, guys? Because we're in electrical audio with Greg Norman, who's a brilliant engineer.
He's so great.
And we're doing, I think, 10 additional tracks right now. We've got pieces of 10 additional tracks. And we're hoping to release something really soon because 3 of them are really close to being done. So
they're like pretty much done.
So follow us.
Yes.
On all the platforms. And listen.
Oh, it's so rad. It's so rad.
It's my party.
I'm so excited about it. Party. Right? Did I get them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 28 of them. You got it.
But seriously, I think that being at Electrical Audio and getting to know Greg and him getting to know us has yielded such cool recordings. And so like we can't really sit on them forever. We're gonna just have to start like we're just gonna give you a little taste of Bad Candy to get you through the winter.
One little piece at a time.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Like some weird grandparents that you can have one. You can only have one right now. And then
we're so truly so pumped though.
I'm so pumped. And there's just so much cool like visual stuff that we didn't really get a chance to share with you all because we got all that momentum from Watch Me Burn and Dare You coming out with singles. And please listen to those. I must reiterate. Please share those with your friends. That's the greatest compliment and the greatest support you can give us is to like be like, this is awesome. I'm excited. I want to show it to you. Because that's how like this shit could catch on like wildfire. And just being able to then go, oh, damn it, the world's shutting down. And we didn't really like feel like it was a good time to start like sharing all that stuff. It felt like in poor taste. It felt like I don't know, like who gives a shit about your band right now? Kind of like not to be crass or like whatever. It was just like it seemed like, okay, let's take a step back and let's evaluate. So we met on Zoom for like a year.
Yeah.
And then also we also weren't able to play live, and we knew that. We knew that for a long time. That was going to be a long time so we could play live, and we really that's kind of our passion, is to play live. And we should talk about that too, because we have a certain wrinkle to our live performances that's totally different than any other thing.
Yeah, and we
not only like to express ourselves with our music, but there's an aspect of there's so many great bands out there, and they play their music and they wear whatever clothes they wear, but we always want to kind of put on a performance. And I don't know if I want to say shock. We want to make a statement with how we dress and how we put ourselves out there. More bits.
they're cheering. They're cheering bits right now, bro. I'm telling you, it's a good thing.
So like because the visual, it's great for the music, but to see something like I always like to get all gussied up for a show, because I just think the crowd deserves it.
Gussied up. Yeah. So they like to get
some
gussied
bits
up
out there.
Really quick, back to meeting on Zoom. What would you do when you would go on Zoom in the beginning? What would you do with each other? Because of the because of the quarantine.
I don't even know how to describe it.
You do like a check-in, right?
Yeah.
It's a support group, basically.
Well, I feel like a band already feels kind of like a support group in a way.
For real.
Because
if you're in one you enjoy.
Yeah, if you're in one you enjoy, and you're, like, if you see your band every week or however often, like, you just get really close and you become really close friends. And it's just, this whole pandemic has sucked for everyone. And it was just really great. It was just almost like a routine, because every Tuesday and Wednesday we're also in another band together, and it was like every Tuesday was one band practice, and then every Wednesday was another band practice on Zoom. And it was really just a check-in. We just would go around and say, like, this week has been horrible. I haven't seen a human in 3 months, or like this crazy thing is happening to my family, or like, it was just like, felt like a support group, and just almost like just a glimpse of normal times, just keeping that routine. Every Wednesday night we meet.
It was pretty abnormal sometimes too, because we'd be like cabin fever, climbing the walls.
Yeah,
me and Todd would be like putting the phone camera in our face,
just doing goofy stuff,
like children,
and just being silly,
laughing.
But yeah, like that was necessary.
I have proof of that.
You got screenshots?
I have to show. Let's see if I can. So if we can,
well, maybe you look for those. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah. So I grabbed a screenshot, and that's Mike's.
You did.
And that's Mike's picture on my phone. Let's see.
This is so funny. Look at that. That's me.
There it is.
That's during the pandemic. That's during the Panini.
So
that's me on the Panini Zoom meeting.
It makes me laugh every time I see it.
It did evolve, though. One of the things that's interesting about the Zoom thing is that it did evolve, because we did a couple things. We did Bad Candy Cocktails, and we evolved after the first couple months of the pandemic. We're all sitting around. We're like, well, what can we do? And so Alex had an idea to do Bad Candy Cocktails, and Todd and Alex did one, and Mike and Alex did one, and somebody else as well. And then we also had the first interaction that we had with each other indirectly as a band since the pandemic started, like in April or something. It's really creative. I had the wings that Alex. Oh yeah. I had the wings at my house that Alex had worn.
I forgot about that.
In February at our Valentine's show.
Valentine's Massacre.
So I had the wings at my house because I was the one who went home with all the stuff, and they were just at my house. I'm like, I've got these wings, but I really want them to arrive with Alex. Like, these are an important part of our, history, and that whole show was
For
like
real.
about, you know, her kind of rising
Wow.
out of the ashes, like the phoenix, like, you know, I was like, I really want her to have these. So Mike and Erin came out, and outside, of course, like I dropped the wings off, like backed away, and then they picked
Yeah.
the wings up, right?
It's like a
set 'em
back
down
alley.
on the-
It's like
yeah,
a
set 'em
back
down on
alley
the ground.
deal.
Yeah, and then we had to put them outside, and then Alex came by, and we like waved from
I
the
think-
deck.
But wasn't Todd involved indirectly in some way? Like, was
I was in the anonymous van. I was in the
No,
surveillance van.
We should have like FaceTimed him in, but I think it was just me and her. We were listening to
Roger, do you read me? Target is acquired.
We were,
Yeah. So we made it into like this whole video.
Yeah, we were trying to make content, you know, that was like fun, and we made a Spotify
Oh,
playlist
hi.
of the Bad Candy Crushes, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, we did
And
that
then
too.
we were like talking and videoing it on the way to your place. And dude, I just remember seeing a human in 3D, being like, "Whoa,
There you are.
But I
you're
walked
so three-dimensional."
But I think I walked out with the wings on too.
You did, and
You
then you
did.
set them down on the sidewalk and backed away. And I approached cautiously and picked them up,
Whoa.
and then we were like,
That's all. That's on your social media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on your song.
Yeah, you can look
You
at
can
that
look
on
that
our Instagram.
I mean, we were having such a rad time leading up to the pandemic with this band being new and us being excited about the music. And for a lot of bands, maybe like losing that momentum, it wouldn't have lasted. But we're all like really committed to this and really want to see it through, because goddamn, the music is going to like really make you feel things, and you're going to be a fan, and you're going to tell people about it, and hopefully we'll be able to like eventually, you know, hit the road and maybe open up for some bigger names and stuff. Get in the van with Don Lumps and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Bits.
Let's
bits.
go.
Itty bitty bits. So
Okay, so monster song.
yeah.
yes. Well, can I say just one thing about the Monster song?
Yeah. Just
I remember the first time that I heard that song. I remember the first time that I got that CD, the Monster Song EP, Allie and Ira. We were at the Goose Island Brew Pub in Wrigleyville. The building no longer exists. It's been bulldozed. They turned it into condos and parking and all sorts of, you know, shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, the memories live on. But basically, we're doing an acoustic showcase, and you brought a bunch of jewel cases. Who's with me with the jewel cases? Everyone like me, y'all. You burn that CDR, you write on it,
Cool.
and the painstaking. You could tell the time that was put into writing Allie and Ira on these discs, and then you could also tell that the album artwork was these great monsters done in like crayon and shit, right?
It was, so at the time, I'm no longer this, but I was a preschool teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids in my class loved drawing monsters.
oh,
And so I would take those pictures and photocopy them and then send them home so their parents could see them because they were amazing. But I would photocopy them during nap time, and I like used parts of them as the album artwork because they were the most amazing monsters I've ever seen.
that gives me an idea.
Oh, it was so cool.
It was beautiful because
That is cool.
all of the discs, correct me if I'm wrong, had
I love
different
that.
covers.
Mm-hmm.
Not-
Every single one
Not
had a
one
different.
of them had the same cover. It was
Well, we
one of
were
one.
mass producing monsters in my preschool classroom, so there was like you could just every
wait,
day I had.
But what I'm
more
saying
monsters.
is
The pictures or the kids?
the
Wah, wah.
Funny, where's your rim shot, drummer? Badoom ching.
oh
Badoom.
god.
But no, like that's a special thing. Like I don't know if anybody out there in the Twitch sphere can appreciate just how much time and effort it must have taken to go to the store to buy the spindle of CDRs. I got 100 stack because I'm gonna burn a shitload of them. Then to go and also
It's
buy
like
the
$20.
jewel cases that are like red and purple and green, like the assortment, not just the one color.
Okay.
And then wait. And then to come home and to get those emails open and take those photos and print them out, and then to make sure that all of the CDs that people were getting at your show had a different monster.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is awesome.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was sold. And this was like probably a decade ago.
It had to be. Yeah, it was a decade ago at least.
So it's definitely a different song then. The content is still the same, but like I'm sure it like means different things to you now. Like songs that I've written have like morphed and like what they mean to me, like after all the life experience that sets in after the moment of writing that song and kind of distilling that emotion. So
like changing a song from one form to another is never easy, as most songwriters, people in bands know, and it's never a guarantee. But this song had such emotion behind it, and we were super hopeful that we can transcribe it from one way, from an Alex Subak, an Ira way, to something that fits kind of the motif of this band. And I think we did it.
We kept Ira in there too, in like a very subtle way. Like I could never forget his nuances. The Jimi Hendrix of cello is how I think of Ira.
He truly is.
And there's a little melody run in there that I play on guitar that I have to give credit to Ira.
So Science is probably our most hopeful song. How would you?
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, so what's the story behind Monster? What do you want people to know about it?
I think that everyone can relate to it. I think the main takeaway from it is, when you see people hurting other people and when you see bad things in the world, I think a big question that a lot of us ask is like, why? Like, why is this person doing this? And for me, the Monster song was like a moment in my life where I had just been hurt one time too many, or like pushed over the edge. And I caught myself doing some things that were shitty and like hurting other people because of how it was like affecting me and my heart and my life. And so I think it addresses that. And then over the years, I wrote it actually before I was in, I wrote it before I was in an abusive relationship. And then after, and as I've been healing the past, 8 years or whatever, it's totally changed too. Like, I think like there's a lot of alcoholism that a lot of people experience when they're going through tough times. I definitely went through that when I was dealing with PTSD from the relationship. So it kind of addresses that. There's a lot of things in it. And I think a lot of people can connect to a lot of different parts of it. But really the biggest takeaway is like questioning, like, how can someone be so awful? And then looking inside yourself and being like, wow, like I also need to hold myself accountable to my actions and my behavior. Just because I've been hurt doesn't,
Yeah. How do I not let that, like, that darkness become me too?
Yeah.
Are we ready to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear
You guys
the
wanna hear
Monster
it?
song.
Let's go back to the spaceship. The Monster song.
Back to the spaceship.
Wayne's World style.
Thanks for having us.
What the fuck was that?
Not really good at keeping things concise,
So
so I guess I won't say anything at all. Because the silence, although lonely, is rather comfortable. And I would rather lie here alone than crawl. Crawl to you for what? So you can pick me back up and on the ground. 'Cause I would rather lie here alone on the ground.
was so fun.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
That brings me back.
Yeah, right?
Does it bring you back?
Oh yeah.
Love bot.
Oh, well, bet. Let's fucking Rob.
Well,
Look at that. Bravo. We got a bravo.
Thanks.
Thank
Bets,
you.
bets,
Thank
bets,
you.
bets, bets.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bets
Thank
and
you.
get
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch.
Can I say about the Cabinet of Curiosity?
Yeah.
real quick? So those are outtakes that have never been shared. But we supported a fundraiser for Cabinet of Curiosity, a cool collective here in Chicago that does amazing shit. So check them out, Cabinet of Curiosity. And we'd like to do more with them because of our love of pageantry and dressing up and doing these outlandish performances that have a visual element to them. I think we can do something really huge in the future.
So on one of their shows, they were all kind of, Alex had these big white wings and was splattered with blood. And then for Halloween this year, they dressed up as elements. So they were all element monsters.
Element monsters.
And
elephants.
Yeah, it's always a spectacle. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I think like before we get out of here, like it's just like it's a nice segue to the video that's gonna end the festival this evening. Is a little snippet of our Halloween show at Chop Shop in 2019, dressed up as Gotham City villains.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And it bleeds into a clip from 2021 Halloween where we were these element monsters at Montrose Saloon. So I think it's pretty neat. But like the reason I bring that up, there was amazing programming all damn day.
Yeah.
To start this first ever Art Gives Us Hope festival. So there was Selena Lee, and there was amazing art from Shannon Conway, who's also doing a print and a t-shirt all the way through January 2nd, raising money and raising hope. And then there's 2 film screenings this weekend. Those will also be available till January 2nd. So while you're at home and you're chilling on the holidays, if you want to like really fill yourself up with some good things that will bring you hope. There was Lester Ray on Kagwamasi Dramas with Marlo Reyes before us. That was amazing. Ben the Killer Matson interviewed Sydney Boudelier, and it was amazing. And if you haven't checked out Sydney's record, her performance on the stream today was fantastic. But check out Sydney's music as well. The Land of Make Believe is the record. It's amazing. Things got started today with Dom Luis. He's an author. He's a writer. He's fantastic. A human being that I've been lucky to meet through the mental health community. And that was a great talk with Carl Evans. And then who am I forgetting? There was one other one that I got to see today. Oh, how did I forget? Myron.
Yeah.
My man, Myron Laban. He's a muralist. He's a musician. He's a creator. And he is just an amazing dude all around. He was on the Tomorrow Show. So everybody that participated in the first day of Art Gives Us Hope, if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I think I got everybody.
Yeah, and then check out the virtual gallery.
There's a virtual gallery. It's got different
So
wings.
cool.
It's got different wings.
So
3D
cool.
gallery. You can go to Chrissy Lopez's wing. You can go to Myron's wing. You can go to Shannon Conway's wing. Very, very cool stuff. And there's some other limited prints and stuff going on. There's a 50-50. There's a raffle tickets go 50-50 to the artists and the the charity. So
Yeah.
keep helping us break the silence. Keep helping with all of the efforts of building community and connecting the dots, because that's what the network's all about. So
Yeah.
So amazing. Such amazing work. And
I'm
such
excited for
important
tomorrow.
work.
Yeah. Make sure that you reach out to your friends and ask how they are. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it can be a tough time of year. So
Yeah.
It can be-
It
it can
be brutal.
Yeah.
Every day can be brutal these days. You're getting bombarded
Yeah.
constantly by negative information and
True.
bad news. And there's a lot of things out of your control. So try to be kind to yourself and try to be the hope in someone else's world when you have the chance and the energy.
Yeah.
I think
Thanks everybody for putting up with our crazy cat noise and our little pets here.
Our little
Thank
pet.
there was
you.
I
there
don't
was
think we
bits
can
and gifted
hear that.
subs which is a good thing in Twitch.
Yes.
Bits and gifted subs. That's like you making it rain.
That's
You're making
awesome.
it rain. And tomorrow there's a whole amazing day of programming and featuring all sorts of great stuff. Check out at Hope for Us Network. You can go on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, wherever it works for you. And then, kind of just pop over here on Twitch tomorrow. Check it out. Don't miss Christopher Lamar, Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health. That guy's doing some really amazing stuff. And I don't know.
We'll be back. Mike and I will be back with AC on Sunday for the Tomorrow Show. So
That's
thank you
gonna be
guys.
fun.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays. Stay
Thank you guys
safe.
so much.
Tell your loved ones you love them.
Yeah.
And reach out and make sure everyone's okay.
Check out our Halloween. Check out our Halloween shit right now. And
Yeah.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
take us away on the last little performance bit.
Thanks for having us.
Ah!
Cool.